Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining our webinar, Aging in Place. My name's Jesse Rivas. For those of you that don't know who I am head of sales for Brighton Solutions, and I'm here with Anthony Iannone.
Hi, everybody. My name is Anthony Iannone. I'm the Director of Innovation here at Brighton Solutions. Very excited to be here today to talk to you a little bit about aging in place and our new product roadmap.
I'm looking at the participants. I see a lot of familiar names. I appreciate you all for joining, taking the time. I know December can be tough with all the holidays, so we appreciate you guys taking the time to join our webinar. If you're not familiar about Brighton Solutions, a few names that I don't recognize, just want to take a few minutes to just talk about us. We are a family-owned and operated company, second generation. We're here to enable partner success by challenging the status quo. We have a full suite of products, helping our partners create simple solutions for their subscribers. We're combining connectivity, monitoring, um, reporting, platform. We are a turnkey solution operating in all of North America and providing solutions for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of PERS providers. All right, so today we wanted to focus on just an industry update as we near the close of 2024. We've seen a lot of different important trends that are impacting our industry, and we wanted to highlight some of them as well as some product innovations that are impacting our industry. I want to start with life expectancy. Um, just want to say sorry for those men on the webinar, but the age gap between men and women right now is the widest it's been in over 30 years. Women are outliving men by at least 6 years. So we're finding and seeing that with this gap in life expectancy, there are more seniors living alone. And as most of us know, when a senior is living independently, they're 2 times more likely to experience a fall. So we're seeing a larger or a bigger increase in risk for falls, which is giving us more opportunity to introduce fall detection and other safety measures, education. This is some interesting stats that we're seeing such a large gap between men and women in their life expectancy. And as we're talking about falls, and with the increase of individuals living independently at home, I think that most of our devices and most of what we offer includes fall detection. So because a lot of what we do is fall detection, it's important. I think it's interesting for us to look at and understand the cause of falls. So not only can we introduce fall detection as a preventative, but I think it's interesting for us to look at how and why our seniors are falling. And many of these things that contribute to falls are decline in a lot of the senses. So decline in hearing loss, glaucoma, an increase in usage of medications, especially psychoactive drugs. Anthony, maybe talk a little bit about the increase of cannabis use
Sure.
for seniors.
I think it's one of many items that doesn't get talked about enough, but it's actually interesting. The generation now that is sort of reaching the age to need a PERS device, that's the same generation that grew up with flower power and marijuana. Cannabis use is increasing exponentially among senior citizens. It's at its highest rate ever and continues to grow. And, modern cannabis, as it turns out, isn't the same stuff that they smoked back in the 60s. It's a lot stronger. And as a result, there's an increasing number of hospital admissions and falls attributed to the use of, again, psychoactive drugs. And I think this is an excellent point because for so many years, there was just this assumption that as people got older, they just became frail. And because of that frailty, they were more at the risk of a fall and that fall was more likely to end in a bad outcome. Now we're learning that there's actually a lot of different factors that go into what makes a fall likely to happen. And if you address those, if you address some of those things, you can minimize the chance for a fall. But there's also business opportunities here. Um, as we talk about vision and hearing problems being some of the biggest drivers behind the reason why falls occur with senior citizens, this may represent an opportunity for you to grow your businesses. Vision and hearing providers, hearing where people buy hearing aids or people get their vision checked. Those are all opportunities to have practitioners recommend PERS devices for people who otherwise might not consider them as something they need. So understanding the causes behind falls and behind decline is a great opportunity for us to better understand our target market.
No, I agree. I think there's a lot of interesting partnership opportunities with the appropriate medical professionals. When you look at the causes of falls, what starts the fall or the decline of certain senses that contribute to falls, I think if we partner and align ourselves with those medical professionals, it creates and opens up some doors for us. Um, this is an interesting one. This is one that kind of I didn't really take notice to until this year, but it's a growing trend where we're seeing smaller families. Families are waiting longer to begin having children. They're having less children, and what we're seeing is some very interesting new trends in childbearing. The average number of children in a household is 1.66 currently, and it's expected to remain below the replacement rate of 2.1 births until at least 2053. So, what does this mean? This means that there's less and less caregivers within the family structure to take care of aging seniors. We're also seeing an increase in IDD, developmental delays, individuals with disabilities. So we're seeing more seniors that are taking care of not only themselves independently, but they're also taking care of an adult child that may not be able to take care of themselves. So, what kind of impact does this have on our industry? Well, it increases the need for our technology. It increases the need for us to look at more services that we can offer in the home as more and more care shifts into the home or a hospital at home. So this is a pretty dramatic change from what we've seen in the past, and it's something that's going to be around for generations. We're just not seeing enough new children being born, and that brings us to our next slide, and I think really contributes to this. But the number of households headed by people 65 plus is expected to grow from 34 million to 48 million in the next 20 years. That's 41% of the number of households. It's also a very interesting stat that the average new homeowner this year was 56. So we're seeing with less families having children, seniors looking to continue to age in place, there's going to be more and more opportunities and more seniors that are living at home, living independently for longer. And as we mentioned with the age discrepancy, we're going to see a lot more women living alone in their home.
Yeah. Again, this really means that over the next 2 decades, you've got upwards of 14 million new potential customers in the PERS space, just the United States. And all of these users, again, all want to extend the amount of time that they can live independently, live at home, not have to end up in a nursing home or care facility. And PERS, when marketed appropriately, checks off a lot of boxes for these potential customers. Anything that can extend the amount of time that they have in their home and extend the amount of time they have independent from others caring for them is going to be a big win for this cohort. Everyone, nobody wants to go to the home. Nobody wants to leave the house that they raised their family in. They value their independence. And if we begin to market PERS as a solution to allow people to keep their independence and not just a solution for I've fallen down the stairs, there are huge opportunities awaiting us.
No, it's great data, and you made some very good points, Anthony. And with less and less families having children, We're also about to see for the first time in history, by 2030, there will be more individuals in the United States over 65 than will have children under 18. So just think about that. There's an incredible trend, an incredible shift in the demographics right now, where we're going to see more seniors living in the United States than children 18 and younger. Huge opportunity for us in the PERS.
Absolutely. Again, it's important to remember that the alternative to family is paid care, right? Bringing someone into the home to assist with daily, daily tasks, whether that's laundry or cleaning or preparing meals. That's very expensive. And to the extent that PERS can be marketed as a possible alternative to forestall that outcome or minimize that expense by providing a little more confidence to the senior, again, a great way to market it and a great way to grow your customer base rather than again focusing on the conventional I've fallen and I can't get up kind of marketing.
And if you look deeper into this disparity in age gap, we're going to see that because of the sheer number of adults 65 plus, and as we all know, when we age towards the end of our lives, we are incurring more and more health issues than we do on our younger years. There's not going to be enough healthcare workers to assist. So technology is going to have to make a serious play in how we're caring for seniors. There's going to be more services at home. There's just so much opportunity for us to explore places we can pivot. I think that we're going to see more use with AI and learning engines to help drive us to provide those services that we need to care for these people.
Absolutely.
And speaking of technology, we're finding that seniors, especially post COVID, are more tech literate than we've ever seen. I mean, it's crazy. 40% of seniors now own a smartphone.
And
Not
that
only
number
do
is
they,
only going to grow.
yeah. I mean, it's a huge number. I mean, I can speak for my own grandmother who's nearing her 90s now. Growing up, they were very hesitant to do anything. I mean, any kind of phone, even a cordless phone at some stage was an issue. And now, there are no such thing as cordless phones. It's almost an antique to see a phone with a cord. But more and more seniors, more and more individuals of age know how to use technology, which means technology will become more prevalent. We'll be able to do and introduce more services related to technology to help. And speaking on that trend, we're seeing an incredible rise of wearables. Mobile is the fastest growing segment of our industry by far. Annual growth rate of 7.5%. We're going to see that trend till at least 2030. I think that the senior population is looking for more lightweight, discreet, simple to use solutions. They're tired of the old and standard form factor that we've seen for decades in the PERS. They're looking for more portability. They're looking for more convenience. They're looking to eliminate that stigma of the badge of
Yeah.
dependence.
Let me chime in on that, Jesse. I mean,
Absolutely.
first of all, while I would be lying if I said that there wasn't a place for the conventional PERS solution, there's going to be a place for the conventional PERS solution for many decades to come. That
Absolutely.
being said, seniors now are increasingly comfortable with technology, and with that comfort comes some risk because, hey, they have a smartphone. Maybe they don't think they need a PERS device, but it's actually also an opportunity for us. It's an opportunity because number one, we have an increased opportunity for acceptance. Modern seniors are far more likely to accept and use PERS devices, especially wearables and other non-conventional form factors than the cohorts that came before them. And secondly, as we continue to improve our technology, add more capabilities and features, we can make a very good argument that our custom solutions that are purpose designed to provide life safety aid and protection are superior to that from what you would get from a mass market player. I think it's more, as much as there's risk, there's a lot of opportunity here, and we have a new set of users that are sort of coming to age to need or want a PERS device that will be far more likely to accept it, and that will get far more acceptance and use from users who historically might have said, "I don't want to wear this," or "This makes me look old," or "I'm not comfortable with this."
No, well said. Well said. Now, all these trends collectively need to inform you how you're structuring your business, product mix. And as you look to 2025 and beyond, it's important that you're aligning yourself with the right partner. It's not an easy task. Choosing the right product mix and the right partner. I think in our industry, one size does not fit all. You need to have different options for different categories of PERS and what your channel is that you're selling through. But I think these are all very important pieces of the puzzle. The product support, the warranty. Can you get someone on the phone? Do they speak your same language? Are they easily accessible? Are their products reliable? Do they have the right platform? Is everything integrated and integrated in a very easy and seamless connection so that you're not clicking through many screens? Does it have the right features? Does it have fall detection? Does it have good two-way voice, cellular connectivity? More important, what happens after the button is pressed? Are the products paired with the right monitoring center, with the right training regimen? Is the company a stable company from the top? Are they being sold and bought? And do you know where they're going to be and what their focus is going to be in the next 5 or 10 years? Do you want to align yourself with someone that is backed by someone that's just trying to look for profit, or do you want to be with a company that is stable and has a secure future? A full suite of product. Wrist wearables are important now. The right pendant is important. And even though we see a decline, do they have an in-home solution? In-home solutions are not going away anytime soon. And Anthony can attest to that. We see this time and time again. Even though we think, okay, this might be the last few years, it's still about 30% of the installations across the country for a number of different reasons. And for those of you guys operating in waiver programs, Medicaid, I know how important reporting is. Are you able to get the reporting that you need to comply with these programs? And I think, Anthony, earlier we were talking, I think you had some comments about these programs that I think you wanted to share, unless I'm putting you on the spot.
No, that's okay. Again, these programs are a great way to grow your business. They represent a largely untapped opportunity to move additional product and into verticals that historically either didn't have the financial wherewithal or were not in a position to purchase PERS devices. And again, from a reporting perspective, I think we have a great product mix that will give you all of the necessary information and backing to provide to your partner who's basically bringing you these customers, these non-conventional PERS customers. And in-home PERS is a huge part of that.
No, absolutely. And as much as we don't want to focus on Brighton on this is more of an industry update. We're here to support you guys, and certainly, follow up if you have any questions. Anthony, maybe just talk a little bit about our Stride smartwatch and why we came to market with it and why it's been so successful.
Sure. So, like I mentioned earlier, the senior marketplace is changing. Seniors are more sophisticated than ever. They are familiar with technology. They're familiar with smartwatches and smartphones. And the getting a male 70-year-old person who's still going out and fishing or hunting on the weekends and likes to work in their workshop to wear a conventional PERS device is a tall order. Doesn't matter whether they have AFib. It doesn't matter whether they have some chronic health condition. They see it as a sign of their frailty. It's embarrassing. You're never going to get compliance. But you come up with a smartwatch that looks like a watch, tells time, has some neat features, counts your steps, tells you what your heart rate is, but also is a great PERS device. And all of a sudden, you now have a product that you're going to get much more compliance and much more acceptance. And we've seen great success with this product. We've been able to tap into markets that, again, historically have been very resistant to using and utilizing PERS. And again, we've been able to help our partners save many lives that otherwise might not have been saved because that 72-year-old grandpa who doesn't want to admit that he's got frailties, when he had that stroke or heart attack in his workshop, he was wearing that smartwatch and it detected the fall, or he was able to call for help. Again, we've had great success with the smartwatch form factor, and we really think it's a big part of the future for the product mix for any successful PERS vendor.
I smiled a little bit when you were, explaining, the resistance to some of these form factors. I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandfather eventually came down with Parkinson's. And when I introduced for the first time a PERS solution and tried to get him to wear it. I really wish I had the watch at that time. I mean, it was years ago, before it was available and the technology was there, but the conversation is not ideal. And trying to convince a stubborn male who's still in his head thinks he's 55 to wear a device because he is at risk for a health is challenging at best. So I think that a lot of the success, to your point, is because looks like a smartwatch first, even though it functions as a PERS device. I'll talk a little bit, but Anthony, I do want you to chime in on this slide from a technical perspective. But when we talked a little bit about choosing the right partner, and aligning interests, and I think we wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about our product roadmap. Where we've been, where we are, and where we're going, and why. And in 21, we listened to our partners. They were looking for a cost-effective solution, a mobile one that was integrated with a back-end software, we call ours Velocity, that allowed them full control with management. And they were looking for something that was easy to use. And we introduced our teardrop. It took off. We had a lot of success with that device. And like we said before, in-home solutions are not going away. We realized that in 22. We introduced our in-home LTE. Our partners were very happy. Again, a lot of what we've done is the result of our partners asking, and we're listening. We're experts, but we don't know it all. We listen to what our partners have to say. And in 23, after about a year of saying, hey, we really need a wrist-based device, a smartwatch solution. Our seniors are they're more tech savvy. They want something around their wrist. They want a device that doesn't look like a traditional PERS device. We introduced the Stride, and we haven't really talked about this. It's kind of been a hidden project, but we're very excited. We're launching Gemini, our next generation. This is the smallest, most powerful PERS device that we've ever come out with. It's exclusive to Brighton. It has so many thoughtful features. This webinar is not focused on this device, so I don't want to steal too much time talking about it. But please reach out. We do have samples. We're very excited. And in 25, we may have some new exciting things that maybe Anthony wants to talk a little bit about.
Well, again, a big part of my job here at Brighton, again, is to innovate, right? It's right in my title. And again, to create new products that meet the needs of a changing senior community, right? Sort of the tagline. We had the Stride smartwatch that represented a big change in form factor. For us, we're really excited about the Brighton Gemini. It's, in many ways similar to the teardrop, but again, addresses the needs of the changing senior community. It's sleek. It does not look as much like a PERS device. It could be mistaken for a phone or an iPod or something like that. It's more intuitive. It's designed so that any senior who picks one up will very quickly be able to figure out how to use it, how to check the battery life, how to turn it on and off. And again, coming in 2025, we're just looking at adding additional products to our product mix that, again, are in alternative form factors and meet the needs of the increasingly diverse senior community that, again, have experience with technology, want something that's not going to make them feel like an old person, want things that don't look like a PERS device. So we're really excited not only about the Brighton Gemini, which we think is going to do really well and help a lot of people accept a PERS device that historically have been sort of reticent to do so. But again, we just have a lot of new stuff coming out that we're really excited about that I think is going to help everyone on this call. We hope you're partners of ours, and if you're not, we hope you become partners so that we can help you grow your business.
Guys, as we wind down to close here, we promised this wouldn't be a long webinar. We wanted to keep it under 30 minutes. We would love to take some questions. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this presentation as much as we enjoyed putting it together. I think it's important that we're all in tune with these types of trends. We understand the market that we're into, and we are here to help. Let me take a look here there were a few questions that were being asked as we were talking. Um, well, here's one. Will in-home devices become obsolete as wearables become, more more popular?
I can take
Um,
that, Jesse, if you
yeah,
want.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, the short answer is no. And I'll explain our reasoning for that. Is that although mobile devices fit the needs for a large cohort of seniors, unfortunately, you still have a significant population of that sort of classic PERS user. And when I say classic PERS user, what do I mean? I mean somebody advanced in age, 80s or 90s. They're very frail. They have limited mobility, um, usually female, but not always. They're often living alone or without close family. They're not going to church on the weekends or playing bingo. They're not leaving the house regularly. Where they're most likely to have a fall or an injury or an incident is on their stairs, in the bathtub when using the restroom, or in the kitchen. And these are users who, even modern mobile devices, much lighter, much sleeker than older devices, they still might find it too heavy, too uncomfortable. They may not remember to charge it every week or on a couple times a week. The in-home PERS solution allows them to wear something that's very small, very light, with a multi-year battery life for the pendant, and that they can be anywhere in the home and still get help in an emergency. So there's definitely a place and a role for the more conventional in-home model moving forward. What I will tell you is that if you are still using landline devices, though, you got to get away from that. The quality of the landline networks is basically gone at this point. And mobile, modern in-home cellular solutions are no more expensive and work far better than any landline solution that we've ever offered. So
Thank you, Anthony. There's a couple. I won't be able to take all of the questions because I think we're going to run out of time. But there are a few questions related to the watch, and about essentially battery life and how it's used with ladies. And I'll begin the answer, and I'll let you chime in, Anthony. I would say this. I think everyone's initial reaction to the watch can be that it a question about its size. I think that's kind of what we hear consistently. However, once it's been introduced and by a partner, we're finding it's becoming 65 to 80. I'm sorry, 65 to 68% of that partner's use. And you know, like I said before, we're not operating in a one size fits all market. So, sometimes the device is going to be perfect, sometimes it's not. There might be cases in which the watch is too large, but we're finding that it does fit a majority of the use cases. As far as battery is concerned, it does have a 24-hour battery. That's what we say and advertised, but it is dependent on use. It depends on location. We are seeing that there are individuals that are getting 36 to 40 hours of battery. Um, I will say that we are working and we do have a roadmap um, for wrist-based devices, and I'll just leave it at that.
sure. Well, just to add on to that, a couple comments. First of all, I think one person asked, are males more receptive? I don't know that so much that males are more receptive. I think that males are less receptive to the conventional PERS model with that pendant. And this gives you an inroad to what has historically been a resistant base of users. That being said, there are many sophisticated women who like the idea of having that smartwatch and like to be able to track their steps and their heart rate. I think that it's not a male or female. I think it is a male and female solution. To speak a little bit more to a couple other comments Jesse made regarding battery life, I think that again, this product is great for users who really are truly mobile PERS users who do have more active lifestyle, who are leaving the home on a daily basis, and for them to be able to just put it on the charger on their nightstand every night when they go to sleep and then put it on in the morning, just like they would with any other watch, is a good use case. And that daily routine is actually not a bad thing. It actually reinforces a continued use of the watch and gets them into a routine. That being said, yes, we do have additional wearables on the roadmap. Yes, we're looking at wearables for users who might be resistant to the full size smartwatch, and those wearables, our goal is for it to have extended battery life. So we are aware of these concerns for certain sets of users, and we're working to increase our product offerings to meet that need.
As we come to a close, I will try to answer two questions quickly, or a few. Can the watch be worn while showering? Absolutely. We don't recommend going scuba diving with it, but you can go into the shower. You can go into the bath 3 feet submerged. Um, is there a Verizon option? There currently is not a Verizon option for the watch. However, our Gemini device will come as both AT&T and Verizon, so we do have a Verizon option. Voice activated devices. We currently don't have any voice activated devices. However, we do have an intelligent voice AI solution called Stella that we have a roadmap for driving solutions through. So we don't have voice activation, but we do have the ability to use machine learning with an intelligent voice. I think that's probably the questions that we did not answer. If I wasn't able to get to them, I apologize. Feel free to contact sales@brightonsolutions.com with any questions that weren't discussed, or if anyone thinks of a question in the next hour, day, month, we're here for you guys. But I want to say thank you. Really appreciate all that attended, and looking forward to continuing to work with all of you guys in the coming year.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Take care, guys.